He woke up one morning feeling like the world was heavier than it had any right to be. Like every ounce of his energy had been drained overnight, while life itself whispered that he wasn't good enough. And maybe you know that feeling, because we've all been there, staring at the ceiling, asking yourself why you can't get ahead, why every effort seems to fall short, why the world keeps throwing obstacles in your way. But let me tell you this, those moments aren't proof that you're weak, they're proof that you're still alive, and alive is a dangerous, unstoppable thing when you finally decide to fight. Meet Daniel. He wasn't extraordinary, he wasn't rich, he wasn't born with talent handed on a silver platter. What he had was doubt, tons of it. And yet, it's exactly that doubt that became his fire. Because the moment he decided to stop listening to the whispers of "you can't," and start listening to the roar of his own potential, everything shifted. You see, an unstoppable mindset isn't about luck. It isn't about being smarter than everyone else. It's about choosing every single day to rise above the noise, to push harder than your own excuses, to refuse to settle for the limits life tries to put on you. Daniel started small, not with grand gestures, not with perfect plans, but with action. Messy, imperfect, relentless action. He woke up an hour earlier, he ran when he wanted to sleep, he read when he wanted to scroll, he built habits nobody applauded. And those habits, invisible at first, stacked day after day, creating a foundation stronger than anything he had imagined. Here's what most people don't get. The hardest battle isn't the one in front of you, it's the one inside your head. Doubt will scream at you, fear will paralyze you, the past will haunt you, and every time you try to move forward, it will whisper that failure is inevitable. Daniel heard that voice every day, every hour, and every night. But he realized something crucial. The voice is not your enemy, it's your gauge. Every time it screams, it means you're about to grow. Every time you feel fear, it means you're about to expand. Every time doubt tries to stop you, it's proof that you're on the edge of your breakthrough. That's when he started reframing everything. Failures weren't defeats, they were feedback. Setbacks weren't dead ends, they were detours pointing him towards something greater. Pain wasn't punishment, it was the fuel for progress. And slowly, invisibly, the man who doubted himself the most started becoming someone unstoppable. And here's the kicker. You don't need anyone to believe in you. You don't need applause, you don't need validation, you don't need a guarantee. What you need is one thing: to show up. To choose action over fear, commitment over comfort, progress over excuses. That's what Daniel did. He didn't wait for the perfect moment because perfect moments don't exist. He didn't wait for permission because no one is going to hand it to you. He started moving, step by step, mile by mile, choice by choice, until momentum began to build. And once momentum builds, nothing stops you. Not setbacks, not critics, not failures, not doubt, not even the world itself. That's the power of an unstoppable mindset. The kind that refuses to bow, refuses to quit, refuses to settle for average. And as Daniel's life began to transform, something incredible happened. He realized it wasn't about becoming the best. It was about becoming his best. Every challenge became a proving ground. Every obstacle became a test. Every fear became a ladder to climb higher than he ever thought possible. And this is what you need to hear right now. You are capable of the same. The fire that burned inside Daniel is the same fire inside you, waiting to ignite, waiting for you to step up, push past the pain, fight through the fear, and claim the life you were meant to live. The thing about building an unstoppable mindset is that it doesn't happen in grand, cinematic moments. It happens in the silence, in the moments nobody sees, in the hours when your body wants to quit and your mind wants to surrender. Daniel knew this. Every morning he faced the same battle. His bed felt like an anchor, his doubts whispered louder than ever, and yet he chose to rise. Not for anyone else, not for fame or fortune, but for himself. Because he finally understood that greatness isn't given, it's earned. It's earned in sweat, in struggle, in the relentless pursuit of a version of yourself that refuses to accept limits. He started stacking wins, tiny, invisible victories that nobody noticed but him. drinking water instead of soda, reading one more chapter, running just one more mile, saying no to excuses. Each tiny win wasn't impressive to the world, but to Daniel, they were building an unshakable foundation. And here's the truth. Most people never get this far because they look for the spotlight before they build the stage. They want instant validation before they earn it. Daniel didn't. He embraced the grind, he embraced discomfort, he embraced the long, lonely process of becoming unstoppable. And slowly the world began to notice, but that didn't change him. That's what separates the weak from the unstoppable. The weak chase recognition, the unstoppable chase growth. Daniel had learned to fall in love with effort, with consistency, with showing up even when nothing seemed to be happening. He faced setbacks, moments that would have made anyone else quit, and every time he hit a wall, he hit harder. Every rejection, every no, every failure became fuel. The fear that once paralyzed him became a compass pointing toward the next level. That's what you need to realize right now. The obstacles, the critics, the haters, the failures, the impossible odds. They are all part of the blueprint to make you stronger, smarter, faster, and better than you ever imagined. You cannot skip this process. You cannot shortcut it. You must lean into it, fight through it, and let it shape you into someone unshakable. Here's the thing about an unstoppable mindset. It doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't compromise. It's ruthless in pursuit of growth, and it's relentless in the face of doubt. Daniel began to notice something amazing. Every time he pushed past fear, every time he refused to quit, every time he acted when others hesitated, he grew. He started taking on bigger challenges, learning faster, thinking smarter. Opportunities started to appear, not magically, not by luck, but because action attracts results. Momentum builds, and momentum can't be stopped. And the most powerful lesson: the only limits you face are the ones you place on yourself. Daniel realized that he had spent years underestimating his own potential, listening to voices that didn't matter, believing lies that weren't true. And once he understood that, once he stopped asking for permission, stopped waiting for validation, and stopped listening to doubt, everything changed. He became unstoppable. And that's exactly what you need to understand. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your fears. It doesn't care about how long it's taken you to get here. All that matters is what you do next. Will you show up? Will you fight? Will you refuse to let doubt define you? That's the choice you have today, right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. Because the power to change your life has always been inside you, waiting for the moment you decide to stop hiding and start becoming unstoppable. The real test of an unstoppable mindset isn't in the easy victories. It's in the storms, the setbacks, the moments when your body screams quit and your mind whispers, "You can't do this." Daniel faced that every single day. There were mornings he barely dragged himself out of bed, nights when he felt like all his effort had been wasted, and countless times he was ready to throw in the towel. But here's the truth. Quitting is easy, and that's why almost everyone does it. Growth is hard, struggle is relentless, and only those willing to embrace discomfort, to stare fear in the face and say, "Not today," ever break their limits. Daniel realized that pain isn't a warning to stop. It's a signal that something extraordinary is about to happen. Every ounce of fatigue, every pang of doubt, every moment of fear was a signal that he was stretching, evolving, and becoming something far greater than he ever thought possible. And here's the power you need to understand right now. The universe doesn't hand out victories. It tests you. It challenges you. It pushes you to the edge to see if you'll fall or if you'll rise. Daniel fell countless times, yes, but each time he got back up, stronger, wiser, and more determined. That's the difference between people who dream and people who achieve. The dreamers quit when it gets hard. Achievers quit only when they reach the finish line. And let me be clear, you are capable of that same resilience. The limits you see in your life, the walls that feel unbreakable, the doubts that feel permanent, they exist only because you've been letting them. Once you start taking relentless action, Once you start refusing to negotiate with fear, those walls crumble, those doubts fade, and you realize that you were never limited. You were just waiting to discover your true strength. Daniel's journey wasn't just about personal growth. It was about influence, impact, and inspiration. Every day he refused to give up, he inspired someone else without even trying. Every time he chose action over comfort, he became proof to the world that limits are optional. And that's exactly what you're doing right now when you refuse to stay stuck, when you keep moving despite fear, when you push past pain. You're building a story that others will one day look at and say, if they can do it, maybe I can too. That is the power of an unstoppable mindset. The ripple effect it creates, the impact it leaves, the legacy it builds. And let me hit you with the hardest truth. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody is going to rescue you, hand you success, or guarantee your dreams. That's a harsh reality, but it's also the most liberating one. Because once you realize the only person responsible for your life is you, everything changes. Daniel understood that. He stopped waiting for luck, stopped waiting for opportunity, stopped waiting for someone to validate him. He created his own opportunities. He took what he wanted. He built what nobody else believed he could. And slowly, step by step, day by day, the man who doubted himself most became the person others couldn't stop talking about. Not because he was lucky, but because he was relentless. By the time Daniel reached this stage of his journey, he realized something crucial. Success isn't about luck, connections, or waiting for the perfect moment. It's about relentless consistency, discipline, and the refusal to quit. He had learned to embrace discomfort like an old friend, to welcome challenges like invitations to grow, to use fear as a compass rather than a chain. And that's exactly what separates the ordinary from the unstoppable. The willingness to keep moving when every part of you wants to stop. The courage to take risks when the outcome is uncertain. The determination to keep building even when the world doubts you. Every challenge Daniel faced became a lesson. Every obstacle an opportunity. Every failure a stepping stone. And as he stacked these victories, invisible to most but monumental to him, he realized that momentum isn't accidental. It's created through effort, resilience, and an unwavering belief in yourself, even when no one else believes. And here's the truth you need to feel deep down. Your mind will always fight you. Doubt will whisper, fear will nag, excuses will creep in, and the world will test your limits in ways you never imagined. But that's not a sign to stop. That's the moment to push harder. That's the moment that forges unstoppable people. Daniel faced criticism from every angle. People laughed at his small wins, dismissed his progress, and doubted his potential. But he didn't react with anger. He reacted with action. Every no he received became fuel. Every skeptic became motivation. Every setback became the proof that he was still in the game. And as his life began to transform, he realized that the true power of an unstoppable mindset isn't just what it does for you. It's the energy it spreads, the impact it has on others, the ripple effect it creates when people see one person refuse to quit. And let's be honest, life isn't fair. It doesn't care about your plans, your efforts, or your dreams. That's a harsh reality, but it's also empowering. Because once you accept that, you stop expecting the world to hand you what you want and you start taking it yourself. Daniel stopped waiting. He created opportunities, he built relationships, he trained himself relentlessly, he refused to compromise. And the results? They weren't instantaneous, but they were unstoppable. He became the person who commands respect, not because he demanded it, but because he earned it through consistency, grit, and action. And here's the most important part for you. You have the same fire. You have the same potential. You have the same ability to rise, break limits, and defy doubt. You just need to stop waiting for permission, stop doubting yourself, and start acting relentlessly, day after day, moment after moment. Daniel's story is not unique, it's a blueprint. Every unstoppable person you admire has faced the same fears, the same doubt, the same setbacks. The difference? They refused to quit. They acted when no one else acted. They stayed consistent when no one else cared. And now it's your turn. The world will throw challenges, but you have the power to turn them into victories. The fire is inside you. It's time to ignite it and let it burn so bright that nothing can stop your rise. Now here's the ultimate truth. Being unstoppable isn't about having no fear, no doubt, or no obstacles. It's about taking action in spite of all of it. Daniel had learned that fear will always exist, doubt will always whisper, and the world will always test you. But greatness is reserved for those who refuse to bow, who refuse to quit, who refuse to compromise their vision. Every morning he woke up, he reminded himself, I am capable, I am relentless, I am unstoppable. And those words weren't just empty slogans. They became his armor, his fuel, his battle cry. That's the secret: repetition, belief, and action. Speak it, live it, and execute it until it's no longer a thought, it's your identity. And here's what you need to know right now. No one is coming to save you. No one will push you, motivate you, or carry you. All the tools, all the power, all the fire is inside you, waiting for the moment you decide it's time to rise. Daniel didn't wait for a sign, a miracle, or luck. He created it with his sweat, his choices, and his discipline. And as he transformed, his influence grew. People started noticing, not because he sought attention, but because unstoppable energy is impossible to ignore. And that, my friend, is the lesson for you. Stop measuring your progress by others. Stop waiting for validation. Stop seeking permission. Your journey is yours, and it's up to you to make it legendary. Every obstacle is a stepping stone. Every setback is a setup for growth. Every moment of fear is proof you're about to expand. Daniel's life became a testimony, a living proof that limits are optional, doubt is temporary, and your potential is infinite. And now it's your turn. Will you stay where you are, let fear dictate your path, and let doubt steal your dreams? Or will you rise, push, fight, and become the unstoppable version of yourself that the world has been waiting to see? Your story is in your hands. Your time is now. The fire is inside you, the potential is real, and the life you dream of isn't a fantasy. It's waiting for your relentless action. So rise up, break limits, defy doubt, and become unstoppable. Remember this. Legends aren't born, they are built moment by moment, choice by choice, action by action. Today is your moment. Claim it, own it, and let the world see what happens when someone refuses to quit.